結構面白い動画を見つけたんだよ。そのボディービルの世界トップの選手たちの腹筋が離れてくっていう現象を解説した動画を見つけたの。ちょっとそれを後で和訳して貼るけど、後でちょっとね、今回はステロイドの副作用っていうその動画のタイトルなんだけど、そういうのはいろいろ言われてるじゃん。その日本だけじゃなくてさ、全世界で、どっちかというとステロイドユーザーについては、いいイメージではない人が多いんだよね。それはそのナチュラルにで頑張ってる人に対してのそのことであったり、健康のことであったり、いろいろあるんだけど、今回和訳する動画はちょっとそれで起こる副作用の一つについてのをピックアップしたもので、ステロイドユーザーがみんなもうはちゃめちゃ健康がはちゃめちゃになっちゃうとかっていうことはなくて、データによると一旦ステロイドをやめて何年かした人はその体の機能は正常に戻るとかいろんなデータがあるんだけど、もちろんメンズフィジークの選手とかクラシックフィジークの選手もやってる可能性の方が大きいじゃん。でもいい体というか別に体に支障はなさそうじゃん。だから、何でもやりすぎは良くないってことだよね。ってことで和訳した動画を見てください。ちょっとめちゃくちゃアバウトで一部分なんだけど和訳したのは、そんな感じでお願いします。
So here's probably the most famous example of split abs in a bodybuilder, and of course we're talking about Ronnie Coleman. But here in his younger days, you can notice that the gap is barely visible at all. It's almost non-existent, maybe a finger's width or so at most, so nothing too dramatic. And here's another pic of him from around the same time period, maybe a year or two later, still barely any separation to be seen there. But now let's jump ahead to 1998, and whoa, what have we here? The gap has widened considerably. The sea has parted, his abs are migrating apart like continental drift, as here he is again in 1999, clearly displaying a gap, which now appears to be at least a centimeter wider than it used to be. And by 2004, it's become undeniable what's going on. So here's a side-by-side comparison, and you'd have to be blind or just a fanboy in denial to not acknowledge the difference here. But this is just one example because there's actually a couple other noteworthy bodybuilders who exhibit this same effect. Dennis James also had it. So you could see there in 99, his abs were almost touching, but later in his career, they've drifted apart like old friends. And this next guy I think we're all familiar with, and yeah, that's your reigning Mr. O, back in 2005, looking like a friggin' clone of Flex Wheeler. People want to say Phil is an aesthetic. Well, maybe not so much anymore, but genetically speaking, the guy has crazy aesthetics. It's just that playing the mass game kind of ruined his lines over the years. But you'll notice that he did have a bit of a split already here at the beginning of his pro career in 2006. So I think it's safe to say that that's mainly just genetic. And here he is at the 2008 Ironman, and the abs are still in check, nothing's really changed. In 2010, and maybe an ever so slight widening has occurred, but if so, it's barely noticeable. But fast forward to 2011, and oh, okay, now, looks like the migration is underway. The abs have definitely moved a little further apart now here. And by 2013, it's gotten even worse. Still a decent set of abs for what it's worth. I'm not saying this is a horrible midsection or anything. It's not my favorite, however. But all I'm saying is that you can't deny that the split down the middle has expanded. And in 2016, well, it's kind of hard to tell here as you don't really see any definition there in the inner abs. It all just kind of blends together, and you can't really tell where one side begins and the other ends, so it's just kind of a mess now and not really that helpful for our purposes here. So for that reason, let's compare them in 2005 to 2013, and again, the difference is quite apparent. Another guy who shares this unfortunate trait is Roelly Winklaar, as we can see here at the 2009 Arnold Classic Amateur Contest. Here in 2014, the gap is still there, and it hasn't really grown much, to be honest. So even here, I think this is from 2015, although it might be 2016, and he still looks more or less the same, which is surprising given how much of a bubble gut he had going on around this time. I would have expected more of an expansion by this point. So Roelly may kind of be an exception to the rule on this. And lastly, one final guy I'm going to show you who has an ab split like no other, and this is Dallas Mccarver. So you can see him here. I believe this was from like maybe 2012, though correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. But either way, the kid is young, in his early 20s, looking more like a physique competitor than an Olympia-level bodybuilder, and still, this is a gap to rival Ronnie Coleman's in his prime. By 2017, all I can say is...
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
These guys are literally showing the same symptoms as pregnant women. And it's called diastasis recti, and I hope I didn't just butcher that pronunciation. Now, this typically occurs in pregnant women, although it can happen in men too. When their belly swells and expands, this causes the abs to kind of get pushed outwards to the sides like this. And here they break it down into several different variations, and I'm no doctor, but from what I can tell, looks like most of these bodybuilders fall under the open diastasis category. Oh yeah, Dennis Wolf also has this gap, and it's just like the others, it got worse as he got bigger. And this is more or less exactly what I suspected. The ab split is genetic to begin with, but it can and does expand when these guys' guts balloon in the off season.